So we started today's session by doing a run through of our storms piece, which went very smoothly. We also decided to adapt some of the conclusions of each scene, just to help conclude the scene better, to combine all the ideas of the scene and get any important messages from the scene that we wanted to express. For example, the friendship scene, the bullying scene, we added a bit more extra onto the whole snitching idea, to really get across that point that it's okay to tell people and get support and get help, and that isn't snitching. Snitching is just something to say, but like people say, so that you won't get them in trouble. And we've kind of explored the difference between snitching and the difference and getting help. Yes, we just kind of adapted, rewrote some of these conclusions to help end the scenes and to transition into the next one. We then did a run through of our primary school piece, which went quite clunky, which is understandable as we haven't had a full cast for quite a while now. We then moved on to devise some more of the chapters and adapt some of the ones that we already have. So we started by focusing on the bully scene, where there's the throwing and making fun of her via the phone, where we take our phone off her. We decided to definitively use forum theatre for this bit, and get the audience suggestions on how Connie who's playing Little Harriet, should react to get the best outcome. And we also decided that we were going to act out all these suggestions, and I'll act out all these suggestions and show how they show the outcome of each suggestion. And we said we're gonna go into the audience, take their suggestions, then we come back in, we'll take some hands up, and then act it out. And we thought this was a good idea because it's good to get the audience involved, keep their focus. We thought it was a very fun activity for them. It also gets them thinking about how they would handle a situation like this, which they might experience when they get moved to secondary school. We also wanted to build their confidence so they feel that they can handle these types of situations. We then moved on to the chapter that addresses the fear of growing up, and we decided on a game show format. We thought it was fun, it gets everyone involved, it's engaging for the younger target audience. We decided that we'd have one person from the cast who was going to host the show, and read out scenarios which the audience would have to find an answer to of how to handle that situation. We had to split the audience into teams with 2 people heading up each team. We thought that we would have about 30 seconds or so to discuss with each team what their answer was going to be. We'd write the answer down, we'd get a spokesperson from each team to say the answer out loud. We then decided to we give each answer a number of points based on the detail, creativity and effectiveness of the answer. We decided not to have a concrete point system, instead having our host just come up with a number of points to reflect how life itself isn't a game and doesn't have a set point system, because there isn't a specific right or wrong for how to react to a situation. There are better ways and there are worse ways, but there's no specific right or wrong. So the purpose of this chapter was to boost their self-confidence, as they can see that they can handle these situations or any situations that they may encounter. It's just very much a positive thing, a fun and positive way of trying to ease that fear of growing up and fear of getting more responsibilities by allowing them to see that actually they can handle these situations. It's also very interactive. It gets that connection with them as we're out there talking to them. And it gets that connection with the target audience, which we want to help them trust us and take on our message. So the last chapter we decided to base on good things about secondary school, as we felt like we bombard them with a lot of negative things about secondary school, which we didn't want to increase their fear. We wanted to make their transition easier for them. So we've been very careful about that, not making them scared of things they hadn't been aware of. So this positive chapter is very much about getting them excited for secondary school. So we decided that we wanted to include our favourite memories and get them excited about secondary school and feel more positive towards it and less scared. As our main aim is to help them with transition, and when they feel less scared, it's going to make that easier for them. We also decided we might get them to think of some things that they're excited about for going to secondary school. We're excited about going to secondary school, and then we could find a way to hear all of them so that they could, so the audience could hear that their peers are excited too, and that could put them at ease. We also decided to finish our piece with splitting them into individual groups, like we did in the last TIE, and we could just discuss the piece with them and answer any questions that they may have about secondary school and advise them on any worries they have that were not addressed in the piece. We think this is good to have them in the individual groups, because it's a way for them to talk about what they're worried about, ask any questions without that intimidating environment of having to talk in front of everybody else. This also allows us to go into detail about answering these questions and speak on a more personal level. This also allowed them to leave the piece with their minds at ease that their worries have been answered. There wasn't any questions that they still had when they left, and to feel more knowledgeable, and also to help them feel more knowledgeable about what to expect when they get to secondary school, which again will ease any worries or fears they may have. So that's what we did this week.